What is up, people? It is me, Monster58. Welcome back to another video review. Today we are going to be taking a look at the Transformers Dramatic Capture Series Cybertron Chase set. And this set basically includes the Cybertronian forms from the very first episode of the Transformers G1 cartoon of Wheeljack, Jazz, as well as Bumblebee. And so these are molds that have been previously released. I believe they upgraded the paint a little bit with these, but I can't personally tell because when it comes to owning these molds, these are the first time I've ever encountered these molds in person. I had never bought the original figures when they released, and they come with a nice slew of accessories and stuff like that. And so, what we have here is your standard Takara Tomy box. It's got the Transformers Dramatic Capture Series, and it's got the Cybertron Chase, set name right there as Hasbro there. But it's a pretty boring box, right? It's got everything else that you can expect from it. Here on the back, you can see Transformers Dramatic Capture Series Cybertron Chase, and it's got authentic Takara Tomy product. But that's really it for this box. And so, what we're going to do is we're going to set this off to the back here, and we're going to bring in the actual box that comes within this box. Ah, that's more like it. And taking a look at this box, you can see the very nice artwork of Jazz, Wheeljack, as well as Bumblebee with the Dramatic Capture Series Cybertron Chase set right here, and then you can see it in the Japanese right there as well. The Transformers logo up here. You can see the Takara Tomy logo as well, and then we spin this up to the top. You can see some more nice logos across the board, all there, and then some not crazy stuff on the side, just more detailing. But here you can see your obligatory product shots here on the back of Jazz, Wheeljack, as well as Bumblebee, and then all of them in their robot and vehicle form. So really nice looking box. I actually really like this, and it's on the sleeve too, so you do have like the cardboard in there, and if you were to remove the cardboard, you do have some more artwork on there. So you have this, which is like a top-down view, which does look pretty cool as well. But overall, when it comes to the packaging, I think that they did a really fun job. I really do like this artwork. The artwork here, and you can see the Tetrajets here in the back with, I think that's Skywarp as well as Thundercracker. Really cool stuff. So, without further ado, folks, alrighty folks, here we have the Transformers Dramatic Capture Series Cybertron Chase set fully unboxed and in their vehicle modes. And the first we're going to take a look at here is going to be Bumblebee. So we're going to set Jazz as well as Wheeljack off to the side here. So taking a look at Bumblebee, I really do like this, and it's a really cool representation of what we did see in the first episode of the entire show. He does come with his jetpack as well, so you can see the jetpack there. Looks pretty cool. It just plugs in here on the top with the 5mm port there. Has a 5mm there as well. Looks really nice. It's nothing crazy, but it's got some nice molded in details you can see across the board. And then he also comes with his gun, which also does look very nice. Nicely molded in. Nice Cybertronian sort of reimagining of Bumblebee's gun. Looks pretty solid, so we'll set these off to the side here. But taking a look at Bumblebee himself, like I said, represents what we saw on screen pretty well. I really do like it. It's very much like a UFO style cart, or car, excuse me, a Cybertronian car. But it does look cool. You can see the very nice Autobot logo there in the front. You can see the nice transparent windshield right there. Lots of panels and stuff like that, but does look pretty good. Very smooth. Obviously, you can see a lot on the bottom there, but that's not too bad. So overall, when it comes to the looks of this vehicle mode, I think they were able to represent what we saw on screen really well, especially from the top down. From the bottom, obviously, it's not going to look all that great, but from the top view and the sides and stuff like that, looks pretty solid overall. So what we're going to do real quick is we're going to set this guy off to the side, and we are going to be doing a quick little size comparison. Alrighty, here he is with the Transformers Legacy United and Furnac Universe Deluxe Class Magnus. As you can see, these two scale pretty well together. Bumblebee is going to be a little bit smaller than your average Deluxe, considering he is a mini-bot, but overall it does look pretty solid here. Nothing too crazy, but really solid size here. Alrighty guys, now it's time to get into the transformation for this guy. So when it comes to the transformation, it's a little bit more annoying because essentially at the end of the day, for all three of these figures, I'll mention this to you right now, they essentially what they had to do is because they ended up making the robot models the same regardless of their alt mode, pretty much, what ends up happening is you're trying to fit Earth mode car parts on a not Cybertronian vehicle form. So at the end of the day, even though this figure does have its issues, I'm still giving them leniency because what the designs that they had to work with were pretty. It's not impossible to work with, but extremely difficult to get across. And so for the transformation, first thing I like to do is to sort of push this down, and you can sort of rotate this part forward. And then I like to take this entire back section, and you can start to separate it. Now, these two panels here on the back like to come undone relatively often, but I like to just get these out of the way. And then it's essentially, and you can see that already fell off because they're on ball joints. There's a lot of folding and whatnot involved with these, so you'll see how this goes. So we'll just peg that back in like so. Then we can take this section, then we can untab it like so, and then you can sort of rotate it up to get it out of the way, and we'll deal with this a bit later. Well, actually, probably can just fold this down, and then we can just start to fold the chest forward. But what I like to do here is I can fold the arms out like so. These are pretty tight joints. Fold them out. Come on. fold them out like that, fold them out and around, and then I raise the arms up just to get them out of the way. Now for the legs, this is where it gets a little crazy. So what I like to do here is you can rotate them all the way down like so, and then from here you can just fold these panels in like this, and then you'll see that there's another joint here, so you can fold this in like this, and then this will just it will just rest on the side here. Then you can take this section, rotate the foot down, and then you'll see that there's like an accordion joint here, so you just accordion that like so. And what you do is you bring this down, you can bring this around like so. Just make sure everything is sort of put together like that, right? Then we can rotate this all the way around like that, and then we'll do the same thing here. So again, you can take this section, you can split it, and then you can fold this section down like this, and then you can fold this up like this, rotate this around, and sort of put it like that. And then we'll take this section, rotate the foot down, and then you accordion that section like that. And you can put the foot down like this, like that. And I guess maybe I had it already rotated around. And then what you're going to do, rotate this all the way around. Take the chest section, then you're going to take this, fold this like so. And then take this back section, fold that down like that. Then you can take these fist pieces, we'll fold them out like that, rotate the arm forward. And well, ladies and gentlemen, here we have the Transformers Dramatic Capture Series Bumblebee in his really cool looking robot mode. At the end of the day, this does have its issues, but considering what they had to work with, I think they did a pretty good job. Obviously, the ugliest thing are going to be his legs. Those didn't look all that great, and the backpack's a little bit meh. But overall, and the hollowness in the arms, but overall, he still looks really, really solid. They were able to still get the VW bug chest there, the iconic head for Bumblebee as well, and then you can see he does look good, so you can see the head sculpt looks very, very nice. No problems there. Nice, molded in detail there. Nice blue for the eyes, white for the face. The iconic horns as well. You can see the nice Autobot logo there with the painted windshields there, the full windshield. Arms look really good coming down here to the legs. Very nice detail as well. Looks really, really solid. Then coming here to the back, that's where he looks the ugliest. But overall, when it comes to how the details are, like I said, I'm not going to, hit him on the head too much for, giving us this much kibble considering what they had to work with given the design. So overall, I'm in no way angry about this. And so what we're going to do is we're going to set Bumblebee off to the side here. Alrighty folks, and here he is with the Transformers Legacy United and Infernac Universe Deluxe Class Magnus. As you can see, when it comes to the average deluxe size, he's a bit smaller, but he's a mini-bot at the end of the day. So when it comes to the size, I have no issue with how small he is here, because he's actually a little bit bigger than the SS86 one, and I apologize for not having that on me, but I do not currently have that on me to be able to compare with you guys. Alrighty folks, in time for sort of the accessory integration, very simple. So again, that 5mm port, you can use that to tab the jetpack on, and he has his old jetpack, and then you can obviously peg the gun into his hand as well, so you can peg it like this, and it does look pretty solid, holds in there very, very nicely. Overall, when it comes to this, really, really nice. The only real issue I have with this robot mode as a whole is really just the kibbliness of it, but at the same time, I can't fault them too much about it. The worst part also would probably be these panels like to come off very easily because they're on ball joints and they're very thin, but at the end of the day, even though those are, issues I do have with it, considering the design they had to go with and the fact that they had to put Earth mode parts on using a Cybertronian vehicle mode, I'm in no way I'm like super gonna be mad at it, just considering the circumstances that they were put into, given that very fact. So overall, not too bad when it comes to that end. Alrighty folks, and finally after that accessory integration, it is time for the articulation, which is pretty solid, all things considered. So his head is on a little ball joint, so you can look up and down a little bit. You can do a full 360 and do a little bit of side to side, not too much at all though, but you can do a full 360 here, a little more than a rotation of the upper part of the bicep, 98th elbow, no wrist articulation, but you do have full waist articulation, which is pretty nice, but it does run into the backpack, so you're going to have to move that around if you want the full articulation. Then you can kick forward, you can kick back, about that far. It's inhibited by the jetpack, but if we remove the jetpack here, you can go a bit farther. 90 degree, a little less than 90 at the knee, rotation of the upper part of the thigh, and you have some nice ankle rockers. Well, so you can get some really nice poses out of this guy. Nothing too crazy, but enough to where it's like, oh yeah, these are, you can get some like half decent poses out of this guy. So I'm not too mad about that, but yeah. So when it comes to the articulation, in no way am I mad about it. It's pretty much average deluxe articulation that we've seen. Alrighty, folks, now it's time to get into the reverse transformation, which arguably is, just the same frustration level as getting him to his robot mode. It's just a lot of folding of these panels and stuff like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove this. Not that it's bad. It's just sometimes it can be really annoying with those panels that keep, unpegging themselves. Take this section that I like to fold the chest already, or the backpack. Then you can fold the fists in, and then we can just sort of set the arms off to the side, and then we can unpeg the chest and rotate that up like so. Then from here we can rotate this all the way around. Then from here what we're going to do is we are going to sort of fold the feet out. We can fold, and this also likes to come off. This is the worst part about this figure. These panels just do not like, and I always get confused with how to put them back on. Yeah, there you go. You can fold this out like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to fold that down like that, and then fold this down, and then all you got to do is collapse it like that. So again, you're going to do the same thing here. And you can rotate it forward. So I'm going to fold this, fold the foot as well. Actually, should do the foot. And then you can do this section, fold it out like that, and then it's going to come off again, because that's how this goes. Peg that all into place like so. Do this section here, fold these panels out, and we can rotate these around. And then from here, what we're going to do is we're going to rotate them around at the thighs so that they're facing like this. And then from here, we can take the arms, fold these down, and then rotate these all the way in. I like to rotate the forearms as well, like that. Same thing here. Take the arms, forearms, fold these all the way in like that, like this. Then from here, what we can do is we can then take these sections and rotate them all the way around like this, and start to accordion this section. This will help tab everything into place right here. Oh, and there it goes. Oh man, and I didn't even know where that panel went. Oh my lord. Sorry about that, folks. That ended up happening, and I did not want that to happen. Tab it all in like that, and then do the same for this side. So again, just be careful with these panels. Like I told you, that's the most frustrating part about this figure, is things getting disconnected from one another. You can take this section, just fold it up like this, push it into place. Then we can just tab everything back on. And ladies and gentlemen, here we have the Transformers Dramatic Capture Series Cybertron Chase Series Bumblebee. There you go, snap. Back in his really cool, like, Cybertronian little car mode. Alrighty, folks, next we got is Jazz here. So when it comes to Jazz, he also represents his on-screen very, very nicely. So we're going to remove some of the accessories, though. You can store the accessories in there, the bottom, so we're going to remove one of them. Let's see if I can remove the other. There we go. Remove both of them. You remove this, and then you can also remove the gun from the top. But taking a look at the accessories, those do look pretty nice. You can see the very nice gun, very representative of how it appeared in the G1 cartoon. And then you also have this as well. This little hook, essentially. And then you can absolutely just plug these in together, like so. And then you can have like a full gun there, but that does look pretty cool. So we'll just set this off to the side for now. But take a look at the vehicle mode. The only major issue I have is that this thing doesn't feel like it likes to plug in the best, but it does look really, really good. You can see the very nice detailing here on the front for the grill. Autobot logos here on the bottom and here on the top. Overall looks really, really clean. Nice blue and the white with the detail, all of that stuff, and you can see the nice molded in detail there, but very smooth. But it is how it appeared in the show, because they're very smooth, right? They're very much like Cybertronian ships, cars. Look really, really nice overall. The nice transparent blue windshield, 5mm port there to peg in. Yeah, 5mm ports here. You can peg in like blast effects if you wish to have like a, muffler effect going back there. But overall, when it comes to his vehicle mode, pretty nice. I really do like it. Very representative of how it appeared in the show. So what we're going to do for him as well, is set him off to the side here. We're going to do some size comparisons. Well, just one really. Alrighty, folks, here he is with the Transformers Legacy United and Infernac Universe Deluxe Class Magnus. As you can see, it's a pretty average deluxe size. These two scale very nicely with each other. Jazz, obviously being a Carbot in the original show, ends up being about the same size as an average deluxe size, Carbot or car Transformer in another line entirely. So pretty average deluxe size, and obviously Jazz being a Carbot is bigger than Bumblebee, and that's how he is here. Alrighty folks, it's time to get into the transformation, which really isn't all too difficult. And so what we're going to do here is mainly how everything fits together back when you're getting him back into vehicle mode. But I'm going to split the back, and then we're going to take these panels. And this is the most frustrating, yeah, because this always happens. I try to remove these panels, and all the time one of these ends up coming off, or if not both of them do. And that's always annoying. But you try and just do your best to fold those out like this. Then from here, what you can do is you can unfold both sides. And then what you're going to do is you're going to accordion the legs down. You're going to fold these panels in, and you're going to rotate these back in. Then you're just going to fold the foot out. Do the same thing here. So you're going to open this up and accordion it down, and then from here you're going to fold the panel in. You're going to fold this in. Then you're going to fold the foot out like that, and then you basically have his feet. So for his top section, it's pretty simple. So we're just going to move this, accordion that, then going to accordion that like that. Place that further down, then we're going to rotate the arms out, rotate the chest down, rotate the head around, just peg the chest in like that, then we just have to very simply take the fists and rotate them out. And well, very simply, here we have the Transformers Dramatic Capture Series Autobot Jazz in his robot mode. And I gotta say, guys, what they did here is they mainly just took the chest of the Porsche that he initially mostly is in the G1 cartoon, and they just pasted it on here. And it actually looks really good. It's nicely stored in the vehicle mode as well, and so you can't really see it in the vehicle mode. That's one thing I forgot to mention. But overall, this does look really, really good, and it represents Jazz's character beautifully while still trying to maintain as close as possible to what Jazz normally looks like in his regular robot mode on Earth, while giving us the vehicle mode that we see in that first episode of the entire G1 series. And so overall, this does look really, really solid. So taking a look at the details, very nice head sculpt, looks really, really good. Nice visor there, nice gray for the face, black for the head. Looks really solid, nothing to complain about there. Obviously shows the Autobot logo, but it has some nice molded in detail, the nice transparent fog lights there. You can see the very nice grill here as well. A nice silver here for the abdomen, which is very iconic in Jazz's design. And you can see the nice detailing on the crotch piece coming down here to the legs. These look nice in this silvery gray. You can see some nice detailing in there on the shins and whatnot. These look good as well. The arms look pretty solid, and he really cleans up very nicely. The only thing that's really huge is just his leg things, but those the spoiler on his legs. But overall, it does look really, really solid. So overall, when it comes to the fact that he still represents his character on screen, I'm really happy with it, because at the end of the day, again, like I said earlier, they're working with a vehicle mode that is completely different to how the actual model of the robot looks. And so, given that fact, they did a really good job at giving us both worlds here. I think a little bit better than Bumblebee, in my opinion, because with this guy, they were able to clean him up a lot easier. So, what we're going to do is we're going to set Jazz off to the side here, and we are going to do our size comparison. Alrighty folks, here he is with the Transformers Legacy United Infernac Universe Deluxe Class Magnus. As you can see, when it comes to the average size of a deluxe figure, Jazz scales up quite well. Again, at the end of the day, he is a bigger Autobot than Bumblebee, and that is no more apparent here. So, looks really, really solid. I have no complaints with the size of Jazz here. Alrighty folks, and now I'm just going to show you that you can just plug the gun into his hand and stuff like that, so nothing crazy there, but the fact is you can plug it in there, and then obviously you can store some stuff on the back here with the 5mm as well, but overall, very, very simple there. And so what we're going to do is just very quickly get into the articulation. Head is on the ball joint. You can look up and down, you can do a little bit of wiggle waggle, go full 360, shoulders do a full 360 as well, 90 degree at the elbow, upper rotation at the rotation of the upper part of the bicep, full rotation at the waist, which is really, really nice as well. And then you can kick forward, you can kick back. You have a little less than 90 at the knee because of the stupid car piece here. But then you rotation the upper part of the thigh, and then you have some ankle rocker pivot. So overall, solid articulation. Again, just like Bumblebee, average deluxe articulation, just a little more inhibited in the legs because of this bit. That definitely runs into it. But overall, when it comes to posing, I think this Jazz is really, really solid at it. So I have no complaints on that end. So overall, when it comes to his robot mode, I'm really happy with it. Cleans up very nicely, and at the same time, the only, he got some hollow bits, a little bit of chunkiness in the parts of his legs, which inhibit the articulation, but it's not too bad. And so what we're going to do is get into the reverse transformation, which really isn't all that bad, but it's getting things to snap together that gets kind of annoying with this guy. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove all of the accessories, and then what we're going to do is we are going to sort of straighten him out here, straighten his head, turn it around, and then we're going to fold both the fists, and I like to just set them off to the side here again, just to get them out of the way. Fold the feet in. Then what we're going to do is we're going to fold these out and keep them there like this for now. I like to actually transform the upper body after I do this. And of course, this is not going to cooperate. There we go. You can untab this, then you can rotate this all the way up. Then we can take this section, and we can rotate that back towards the body like this. Then we can just adjust this and bring it forward like it is in vehicle mode. Do that, and that should help force these arms to turn around. And what you want to do is you want to have these little peg holes facing the bottom, so rotate them around so that the peg holes are facing the bottoms like so. You can see that. And then what I like to do is sort of extend these out for now. Then from here, now we can actually do the back of the car. So we're going to fold these panels out, fold these down, do the same thing here, fold these panels out, then fold them back down. Then, accordion them in and then fold them down. You can do the same thing here, accordion it in, fold that down. Then you're going to squish everything together. Then what we're going to do is we are going to try our best to sort of finagle and get all of this lined up and tabbed in together. And this is genuinely the most difficult part about this transformation, is getting everything to tab in and line up correctly. Like that. And then from here, what you're going to do is that there are, I don't know how well you can see that. I'm sorry I didn't show it before, but there are tiny little tabs on the knees, and then you're going to tab those tab holes I showed you earlier on the forearms into them. And these always take a little bit of doing because gotta get them to line up nicely. There's one and there's two. Okay, they're nicely in there. So to store the stuff though, what you can do here is that there's a little tab. You can see the 5mm in there, and there's a tab here on the bottom of this. You can just sort of do your best to stuff this in there like so, and then obviously you can take the gun and you can place it here. And ladies and gentlemen, here we have the Transformers Dramatic Capture Series Autobot Jazz back in his Cybertronian vehicle mode. Alrighty folks, here we have the Transformers Dramatic Capture Series Wheeljack in his vehicle mode, and I gotta say guys, this guy looks really, really cool. Although he isn't necessarily the most stable, sometimes he leans to one side or the other. At the end of the day, he represents his on-screen, first episode counterpart absolutely beautifully. Now, if you guys are wondering why I didn't end up showing these Energon sticks here at the beginning of the review with Bumblebee, because that's initially who they came with, is if you bought the Deluxe, I believe they came with Bumblebee, is this why? It's because they store on Wheeljack's vehicle mode. Now, it would have been cool for them to maybe modified them to have been able to be put into the back of Wheeljack like they actually did in the first episode. But at the end of the day, the fact that they have a storage option is cool, but it just looks absolutely ridiculous, as 90% of Transformers vehicle mode storage usually does, as long as it's not like a Beast Transformer. Beast Transformers tend to actually integrate their vehicle mode or alt mode storage pretty well, but with most mechanical vehicle mode storage, a lot of it tends to be pretty terrible in terms of just going with the body and everything like that of whatever vehicle they are. But for the most part, this is pretty ridiculous. But the fact is that they store there. So there's a lot of accessories here, so obviously you can go through these tubes, or these sticks. Now, Bumblebee and Wheeljack and Jazz can all hold them. The only issue is there's no pegs or anything, so you kind of just have to sling them into their arms as if you were carrying, something, tubular like this. And they don't like to stay in there the best, but the fact is they added them, and if you take a look at them individually, they're pretty nice, nice orange transparent plastic. Overall, nothing too crazy, but the fact is that they included them, and so they just store by doing this, but even then, this vehicle mode storage doesn't exactly like to stay on there very well. But we can just remove all these and set them off to the side. They're pretty cool, though. It's nice that they added them. I'm more going to use them as similar as most people would use Energon cubes in their display. I'm probably just going to set these in front of them and just have them laid down like that. So set these off to the side. He has another couple of accessories. He has these little, like, drill bit things, that he used in the first episode to tear through some Decepticons. These are nicely painted in silver. They do look pretty cool. I do like them. They look like gears, and then they have these little pointy bits on the front. They very easily peg into the front of the vehicle mode by doing this. You need these little pegs here, and you can just peg them on there like that. Those look pretty cool. So remove these and set these off to the side as well. And the last thing he comes with is his gun. His gun can also go on his shoulder, which is really nice. It has a transparent peg there, but it has a nice silver painted body, and the nice detail looks really, really good. So overall, really, really nice. I can't really complain about the accessories. More or less complain about how how they hold those Energon sticks. And the last accessory here is this big panel here. You can clip it on like this, so it has little pegs here, and there are peg holes on the side here. This is pretty cool. So the way you peg this on is you just do this, and then you just peg that on like that, and then there's that. It does look really cool, represents what it showed on in the show pretty well, but I don't really care all that much for it, and so what we're going to do is it does look nice. I mean, you can see it's nice in this blue transparent plastic with all that decent detailing in there, so nothing crazy. It is nice looking, but I just don't care all that much for it, so we're going to set this off to the side here. Alrighty, that cut might have been a little bit annoying, but I just realized it did something that I didn't do, and that was look at the actual vehicle mode. So taking a look at the vehicle mode, it does look pretty cool. You can see the nice detailing here, nice colors here as well too. All this green and the classic Wheeljack colors looks really, really good overall. Like, I have no major complaints with this vehicle mode. The bottom looks a bit funky, but overall, to represent what we saw with all this nice molded detail, the nice paint, it does look really, really solid. It's mostly white, obviously, as Wheeljack is mostly white, but for the most part, I'm really, really happy with how this turned out. Sure, there's a lot of, panels that you can clearly see, but at the end of the day, given how this guy transforms, you'll see what I mean. The fact that they were able to get the Wheeljack that we knew in terms of his robot mode and get it really close to it while still giving us this alt mode is pretty damn cool. So overall, when it comes to this alt mode, I'm pretty happy with it. So what we're going to do is we're going to set this guy off to the side here, and we're going to do our size comparison. Alrighty folks, here he is with the Transformers Legacy United and Infernac Universe Deluxe Class Magnus. As you can see, these two look pretty solid together. He's a little bit bigger than your average Deluxe. You can see he's a pretty chunky fella. I believe he was considered a Voyager. I can't exactly remember. I'll have to look that up and put that in the video. But he is a pretty big fella, which makes sense considering he was the vehicle that Bumblebee was loading these Energon sticks into. So at the end of the day, I have no issues with his size. He's a pretty chunky fella. Alrighty, before we get into the transformation, the one thing I didn't show is that you can actually fold the back down, so it is very much like, oh, you can stuff the Energon sticks in there if you wish. Now, they don't quite fit. Well, actually, they do. You can actually fit them in there, which is actually pretty cool. But yeah, you can actually do that, which is really neat. So if you want to store them in Wheeljack, you could also do that. But yeah. So, when it comes to the transformation, this is where this one, in my opinion, is the most annoying to do, because there's a lot of folding panels with this guy, and you'll see what I mean. So, we're going to just push this forward a little bit to get this top part loose, because this whole top part is what holds everything together, essentially. So, we're going to just split this all apart here, like that. Then from here, we're going to fold these out, and then we're going to fold these down, and then you can see everything is already folding on its own. We're going to fold these panels, and then what you got to do with these ones is you have to rotate them all the way around, and then you fold them like that on the back, and then we'll do the same thing here. So again, when it comes to these panels, you have to rotate them all the way around, and then you fold them like this. Then you take these panels, fold them once, fold them twice, then you can fold them in on the side here. Well, fold the foot down, then fold them in on the side, and then what you'll see is that there's a tab right there, and a tab hole right there, and a tab right there. You just do that here. So again, you're going to do is fold this once, fold this twice, then you're going to fold the foot down, then you're going to rotate this all the way around, and then you're going to peg those into place. Then from here, what you're going to do is rotate the feet so that the green is facing the front here. Then you're going to straighten out the legs, fold these panels down, fold this up and around like this, and then what you'll see is on this panel, there is a tab hole, and there's a tab right there. Fold that like so. Do the same thing here. So fold this down, rotate this all the way around, then you're going to fold that, and that'll tab into place like this. And then what you're going to want to do is come up here, you're going to take this section, you're going to rotate this out, then you're going to take the chest section, start to fold this up, rotate the head around, then you can take these arms, rotate them like so, fold the fist out, do this, and I like to rotate the fist like so. Same thing here. Fold that out, then rotate the fist out, fold this in, fold this down, rotate this around, then you can rotate the fist like so. Take the waist section, turn it all around, take these parts, and then you can fold them like this, and then what you'll see, there is a tab hole right there, there's a tab right there, and then this will tab right into place, and this kind of just rests on his back with if I remember looking at the instructions, there really wasn't a way to tab this in, and I've been practicing transforming this guy for a while now. Now all you gotta do is take these bits and fold them up to give it Wheeljack his iconic look. And ladies and gentlemen, here we have the Transformers Dramatic Capture Series Wheeljack in his robot mode. And I gotta say, guys, they did a really, really good job. Now, he is really chunky. I'm just gonna show that right there. He is very, very chunky. He's a very, very chunky fella. But at the end of the day, considering, again, the vehicle mode that they had to go with and the design that Wheeljack actually is, which is a Lancia Stratos, which is a very sleek rally car, at the end of the day, they did a really good job, and they really got the Wheeljackness down. They got all the colors correct, they got the chest right, they got the head right, and they also got the those parts of him on the back really good. So you can take a look at the head sculpt. Looks really good. Very Wheeljacky. You can see here, come down to the chest, you can see the very nice Autobot logo, the red, the green, that looks nice, the transparent plastic. Again, looks really, really solid. He's just got a lot of panels on him. He's very much like Bumblebee, but they kind of had to accentuate it a little bit more. That's kind of more exaggerated here because of how much chunkiness he is. But overall, when it comes to the fact that they were able to get that vehicle mode with a very nice looking robot mode, all things considered, is pretty good. Again, like I said, he's really chunky and there's a lot of kibble, but I'm giving them a little more slack considering what they had to work with given the actual design of the character in this show. So overall, I'm not really too mad about it, but certainly there's a big backpack, there's a lot of kibble on the legs, and yeah, that's not always the nicest look, but overall, not too mad about it. So what we're going to do, set this guy off to the side here, we're going to do our size comparison. Alrighty folks, here he is with the Transformers Legacy United and Fernac Universe Deluxe Class Magnus. As you can see, these two scale together quite nicely. When it comes to Wheeljack, he's a bit smaller in his robot mode than he is in his vehicle mode, but at the end of the day, when it comes to the fact that he was a carbot also in the original show, the fact that he's about the same size as Jazz works perfectly fine because those two were about the same size considering their cars were relatively about the same size as well, the Porsche and the Lancia Stratos. The Stratos was probably a smaller car, but at the end of the day, these two look really nice together in terms of the size. I have no issues with Wheeljack size whatsoever. Alrighty, and next we're going to get into sort of the accessory integration. So what you can do here is, I'll show you what I mean, by the way, with these things here. So you kind of have to just sling them in their arms and just do something like this. And so they can hold it like this, but again, something easily will just, yeah, you can see that just gets knocked out of his hand. But the fact is they can hold them, but it's just a bit annoying if you want them to stay in there securely. There's no way to secure them whatsoever except for hope. All you have to do is just hope at that point. But you can take the gun, and what you can do is you can plug in one of the gears to the tip of the gun, and then you can actually just give it to him like this. And if you want to store the other gear, or if you just don't want to use the gears entirely, if you come here to the back, you can see these two little pegs. You can peg the gears in here. And then what you'll notice too, that there are two peg holes here, and the reason is because you can actually peg the entire panel section onto the back here. So what you'll see is these, actually not peg holes, pegs. Then you'll see these peg holes here on either side, and then what you're going to do is just line this all up. And there, you can peg that in. That looks so ridiculous. It's so stupid. But the fact is, you can store it on the robot mode, and that's pretty cool. So, nothing crazy here, but we'll set that off to the side here. But yeah, like I said, if you want to store the gears, you can store them right here. And then you can obviously put this panel on the back without inhibiting the actual connection. So that's really, really nice. And overall, when it comes to the accessories, they're pretty good. And then the last thing I'll even show with the accessories is you do have a shoulder cannon, 5mm there. And then you can just plug the gun in there, which is more than likely what I'll do. So overall, when it comes to the accessories, even though that I don't really care all that much besides maybe the gun and the gears, overall it is really cool. Nice accessory integration. I have no major complaints about it because they're all pretty well done here. Alrighty, next it's time to get into the articulation. This is where this guy falters a bit, and that's mainly because all of his kibble. But we're going to remove the gun here. He has a full 360 at the head here. And then you can do, it's on the ball joints, so you can do a little bit of wiggle waggle and down and up. But you can see when I do this, there's a lot of running into things up and down, 90 degrees at the elbow. You have wrist articulation, which is nice, so that's definitely new. That's really cool. So you do have wrist articulation. Waist is full 360, but again, you have to move the panel out of the way. You can kick forward about that far. You can kick back, but again, it's the panel. You have to move it. And then you have 90 at the knee, actually a little more than 90, and the rotation at here, and then you have some ankle rocker, but because of the way that this is designed, you don't get too much. So even though it is pretty okay, you have some good range of motion for the most part, there is a lot of kibbliness to him, so you have to just move things out of the way if you want to get him into some nice poses. But overall, it's not terrible, and it's not the most inhibited because of all the kibble and stuff like that, but certainly it is, and you can definitely see that. Alrighty, folks, it's time to get into the reverse transformation, which really isn't too bad at the end of the day. It's, same level of, I guess, frustration if you were to have any with getting him to his robot mode. And so what we're going to do is we're going to remove the gun, and then we are going to remove the gear as well, set all the accessories off to the side here. Then we're just going to sort of straighten him out, and then what I like to do is the arms first. So you can fold the fists and rotate them around so that the top of the fist is facing that top of the forearm like that. Then what I like to do is you can then fold the panels out, then you can fold the fists in. What I like to do is you can rotate it so that this part joint of the arm is there. So do the same thing here. So you can fold this out, rotate this around, and you can rotate these around so that these are like this. And then from here, I like to rotate the forearms like this, fold these bits down. Then from here, you can take these sections, fully rotate them. Then you can do this. And then you can do this on this side as well, like that. And then from here, what you're going to do is you're going to take this section, rotate the head around, and you can just accordion this down like so. Then from here, I like to fold these bits in, and then you can snap them together. And then we'll just leave this like this for the time being, because you'll eventually just put these two together here in the front. But I'm not going to do that until we do more of the legs. So what we're going to do here is we're going to come down here to the legs, and then we are going to untab these panels from the back, rotate it all around like this. So you can untab this from the back, rotate this up and around like that. And then from here, what you can do and take the back section, we're going to untab it, rotate it all the way around. Same thing here, back section with the transparent, rotate that all the way around. Then from here, what we can do is you can fold these panels out, rotate the foot around, and then fold the foot in like that. Do the same thing here. So we're going to fold this out, and then fold this out again, like this. So again, you can rotate this out, turn the foot around, take this, fold this up, and then fold this out. You can fold this part out as well. And then from here, you're going to do is you can see that there are, adjust the legs so that they're like this. You have to make them so that they're sort of bow-legged like that. Then you can tab those middle bits in together like this. You can see those middle bits right there where they tab into place. Then here, what you're going to do is you're going to rotate this up, rotate this like this, then do one of these. Oh, excuse me. You're going to rotate the entire waist section. That's one thing I forgot to do. I apologize for that. I am so absent-minded with stuff like that today. I apologize. So then from here, what you can do is you can fold these sections around like this, and you can see where this is all starting to line up now. Then you can sort of tab that all together like that. Do the same thing here. So fold this panel in, tab this all together. I guess you can line this up here then, now, like that, a bit better. Fold these panels out. So I've folded them on this side already. So fold these out. Then these will all tab into place like this. And then what you can do, take the roof section, start to fold this down, and then you can see that there's just a lot of different tab points that you have to tab that all into. Then from here, you can just fold these up, make sure that they are tabbed together, like this, that. Then you can just tab this entire section down like that, just like that. Then take the chest section, and you'll take the section, fold it, and you'll see that there are two tab holes there. There are two tabs here, and then you just do your best to, of course, I crushed the back, just like that, and there we go. So after that, all you gotta do is take this section and just sort of push it in, and ladies and gentlemen, here we have the Transformers Dramatic Capture Series Wheeljack back in his Cybertronian vehicle mode. And so guys, for my final and concluding thoughts on the Transformers Dramatic Capture Series Cybertron Chase set, this is a pretty solid set overall. As someone who didn't end up getting any of these modes, it's nice to have this display, and I'm probably going to end up keeping them in their vehicle modes, more than likely just due to the fact that that's what's most iconic about it, right? But at the end of the day, the issues I have with these figures are mainly just the fact that at the end of the day, the designs that they had for the characters were still the same as their Earth modes and their robot modes, and so trying to get that to, go into a actual physical toy when they're trying to make, both of those things a reality, when they have the Earth-looking robot mode with the Cybertronian vehicle mode, it's really, really tough, and so I've been willing to give the Hasbro designers slack, but the one thing I won't give them a bit slack for is that, man, some of these panels and stuff like that are really just frustrating to deal with. Like, Jazz doesn't like to fit together the best sometimes. The panels for both Bumblebee and Wheeljack Wheeljack are a bit annoying, and at the same time they're a bit kibbly. But at the end of the day, for the kibbly bits, I'm not going to be too hard on them, just mainly due to the fact that, again, they're trying to fit a Earth mode, robot mode into with a Cybertronian vehicle mode. Now this set as a whole costs about $100. I think that might be a little bit too much. I think maybe 80 would have been a bit better, but at the end of the day, you do get a lot of accessories. You get a lot of nice molds and pretty solid figures all around. And for someone who wouldn't mind a set like this for a display from the first episode, this is pretty cool to have. And so out of a 10, I'm going to give this between a 7 and an 8. I would recommend it if you do want that display, but other than that, this is a pass for other people. At the end of the day, I'm really happy with it, but I can see why you would pass over it. It's not something I would highly recommend, just recommend overall. I think it's still a solid set, but again, you do have a little bit of like, do I really want it? Do I really care to just have the characters represented from that one episode? I don't really know. I did pick them up on the Big Bad Toy Store, so leave a link in the description of that. Also leave links down below to Amazon as well as Hasbro Pulse. I hope that those websites have it, but at least Amazon, I hope it has it. So you guys can use those retailers instead if you wish to do so. By the way, if my review is a little bit lower energy, it's because I've had a headache and I'm just trying to get these recordings out of the way. So I apologize if I missed anything. I'm going to try and make up for some of that in editing, but overall, I still hope you guys enjoyed the video. And so I thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this video. Please like, comment, rate, subscribe, share this video with your friends, and also follow me on the socials. Those will be linked in the description below. And with that, guys, once again, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video review. I'll catch you all in the next one. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Peace.